Good morning, everybody. All right, so this morning we're going to be working on an assignment called Naming Ionic Compounds. And this assignment is pretty long, so this is essentially all we're going to be doing this week. This is a POGIL exercise, which stands for Process-Oriented Inquiry Guided Learning, which basically means that it's asking you all of these questions along the way. And with each question, you learn something new. And so I really like this assignment. It's not just a worksheet that's for busy work, but it really teaches you the rules for how to do these processes. And so today we're going to learn about naming compounds. And so have you ever looked at a shampoo bottle or any ingredients in food you're eating and wondered, what in the world are all these crazy chemical names? Well, this is going to be one step towards understanding the rules for how chemicals are named, and so that you can look at the bottle of shampoo and start to understand what some of those compounds are, and you can even visualize what those elements are in your head. The next step would be, okay, are those elements and compounds good for you, right? Are they good for your body? Are they going to cause any problems? And that just takes a little bit of research. But at least at this level, you can identify where those things are on the periodic table and even draw the molecules and compounds. So this assignment, the essential question for this assignment is, what are the structural units that make up ionic compounds and how are they named? So in terms of structural units, what we mean is, what are the elements and how many of each element are in a compound? So the why. When working in chemistry, it is often convenient to write a chemical in symbols. For example, we might write down the substance table salt as NaCl. In talking about chemistry, however, it is a bit tacky to say NaCl when we want to refer to a substance. So we don't usually call out the element symbols when we're just talking. We use the full name. Also, in formal writing, we should use the name of the compound rather than its symbols. Therefore, we need to learn how to say proper names of ionic substances. Personally, as a teacher, I just think it's a really useful everyday skill to be able to identify what compounds are, because we do actually see them on a regular basis. And now that after this, once you know how to name them, you're going to start seeing these things around, especially when you go to the grocery store and look at ingredients lists. Okay, so when we go through this assignment, you're going to see these different models. This is not an assignment. This is just a figure for you to look at when you're answering the questions. Okay, so don't dive into this image here and start to try to fill it out, because that's not what it's asking you to do. What you need to do is look at question 1. So you'll notice down at question 1, it says, based on the information in model 1, answer these questions. So it says, identify 3 elements that form only one cation, identify 3 elements that form only one anion, and identify 3 elements that form more than one cation, etc. So you're going to use this picture up here to identify those elements and answer these questions, but you're not filling this table out. It's already filled out. You'll also notice here on the model that it's labeled here, so you can see where the cations are. So from here to here, these are all cations, and you'll remember that cations are our positive ions. So you'll see these all have positive charges. You'll also notice this includes transition elements that we did not talk about last week. But you'll notice that some of the transition elements have more than one cation that they can form, right? Like Cu is copper. It can form a +1 charge or a +2 charge. And so this is why we didn't discuss it last week, because these are a little bit more complicated. But we do need to be able to recognize them and be able to name compounds that have these elements in them, even though we are not talking about them as much, because these ones actually are very common. This is iron, nickel, copper, and zinc. So you'll probably recognize those metals as metals you see every day.